Here's your ultimate recap for Dandadan Season 1 to get you ready for Season 2. Dandadan kicks off with two high school students, Momo Ayase, the rebellious misfit who believes in ghosts and not aliens, and Ken Takakura, aka Okurin, a loner who believes in aliens but not ghosts, and this sparks an argument over who's right. So they dare each other. Momo drags him to a tunnel to summon ghosts, and Okurin dares her to contact aliens in an abandoned hospital. And Okurin gets possessed by a legendary spirit, Turbo Granny, and Momo gets abducted by Serpo aliens. They then work together to help each other out. Okurin and Turbo Granny jump into the UFO via Momo's discarded phone. Momo remembers her grandmother's words and powers up psychokinetically, and together they crash the UFO with a beatdown. Afterwards, Okurin introduces himself as Ten Kakakura, who shares the exact same name as Momo's favorite actor, and she can't associate his name with this nerdy alien boy, so she nicknames him Okurin to keep her cool. In episode 2, Momo and Okurin retreat to her grandmother Psycho's house for safety, and Momo learns to use her powers to keep Okurin's Turbo Granny curse at bay. That night, a new alien threat appears, the Flatwoods monster. It drags them into a strange subspace barrier and starts wreaking havoc. Okurin, still adjusting to his Turbo Granny powered form, engages it quickly but gets overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Momo struggles with balancing her newfound psychic powers and the burden of Okurin's curse. She fights to protect Okurin, but the barrier keeps regenerating, and Momo eventually recalls her grandmother's spiritual teachings and uses talismans to destroy the monster's core and dispel the dimension. The now possessed Okurin is taken care of by Psycho, who casually overpowers Turbo Granny in a body slam that would put pro wrestlers to shame. Psycho identifies the problem. Turbo Granny has fused with a crab yokai back in the tunnel, dramatically increasing her strength. She warns the kids not to engage again, but Momo refuses to let the curse run wild. They spend the episode preparing, gathering protective charms, tuning spiritual gear, and training with Psycho. Turbo Granny shows up at the house for a rematch, but lures them back into the tunnel instead. Momo and Okurin accept, knowing the real fight is just beginning. Back at the cursed tunnel, Turbo Granny rips the curse from Okurin and reclaims her full yokai power. What follows is a wild tag team sequence. Momo proposes a game of tag to steal back the curse, baiting Turbo Granny through a chase out of the tunnel and toward the city boundary. Just as they seem to win, Turbo Granny calls on a legion of possessed corpses to overwhelm them. The fight escalates to a high-speed train where Momo and Turbo Granny battle on top. With Psycho guiding from afar, Momo lands a decisive spiritual blow and banishes the yokai. With Turbo Granny exorcised and Okurin restored, they learn her tragic backstory, that she once tried to protect young girls but was twisted by the curse. Momo ends the episode with a soft line to Okurin about seeing him tomorrow, hinting their bond is growing deeper. After all that drama, life resumes, and so do the complications. Rumors fly about Momo and Okurin realizes something horrifying in the boy's bathroom. His family jewels are gone. Again, Turbo Granny may be exorcised, but her aura still lingers. Momo steps in to confront classmates mocking him, using her psychic powers in front of everyone. Back home, Psycho performs a new ritual and extracts Turbo Granny's essence into a Maneki Neko doll, but she delivers the bad news. Okurin's golden Gintama, his family jewels, are missing and now serve as spiritual magnets, attracting otherworldly threats. With a fragile truce and a haunted artifact in hand, their next spiritual problem is already approaching. One of Okurin's golden Gintama ends up in the hands of Aira Shiratori, the same girl who bullied him earlier, but now she can see spirits thanks to the golden ball. And she's determined to exorcise Momo, mistaking her as a source of evil. A confrontation ensues, but a new spirit crashes the scene, Acrobatic Silky, a disturbing yokai who claims to be Aida's mother. Silky swallows Momo, Okurin, and Aida into a warped spirit world, forcing them into a horrific showdown. Momo finds herself inside Silky's hair nearly crushed, but cleverly uses Aida's lighter to ignite the strand and free them all. Aida isn't built with ghost grannies or spirit magic like Momo and Okurin, so she's on the brink of life after this encounter. Inside Acrobatic Silky's world, Aida learns the painful truth. Silky isn't just some monster, but she was a struggling mother, trafficked, shamed, and left behind whilst trying to care for her daughter. Momo taps into the spiritual link between them and sees her memories, abuse, debt, and sacrifice. And that sacrifice carries over even in her yokai form, as Acrobatic Silky on the brink herself sacrifices her life force to save Aira. Aira, humbled and tearful, promises to remember her and make something good out of the chaos. A new layer of maturity settles over the group, even Okurin is shaken. Aira tries to reclaim normalcy at school, but now sees Momo as a rival, for both power and Okurin gets his first golden Gintama back thanks to Turbo Granny, but his yokai power still surges unpredictably. Things now take a turn turn when Aira confesses her feelings to Okurin, then stumbles on him in anime-tripping fashion, leading to an awkward moment that Momo misinterprets, and before the drama can clear, the school floods, classmates vanish, and Momo and Okurin are dragged into a submerged spirit world. Loch Ness monster-like aliens and Serpo researchers roam the flooded halls, and Okurin is captured, so Momo fights to reach him, and just when things look bleak, Aira channels Silky's energy and makes a dramatic rescue. The team's dynamic is unstable, but they're starting to work as one. And now the weirdness dials up to 11. A mutant shrimp, alien science, and prehistoric monsters merge into one grotesque boss. Serpo Dover Nessie. Momo, Okurin, and Aira must coordinate their attacks while navigating a surreal underwater battlefield. Okurin fights without his clothes, long story, and Momo channels her spiritual energy to target weak points. Aira uses her newfound agility to blindside the creatures with clever teamwork. They force the boss to explode from within, and they wake up back at school, drenched and mostly in their birthday suits, and of course the rumors get worse. But they don't care. The fallout from the school is messy, but in a character development turn, Aira publicly defends Momo instead of hating on her by diffusing the rumors. Meanwhile, a badly wounded mantis shrimp from the last battle shows up at Psycho's house, explaining he was hired by the aliens because his planet and family are suffering, as they require a specific resource for their life force, and without realizing, Psycho, ever the eccentric granny, offers some regular cow milk to the shrimp, and that happens to be the exact rare resource he was after. So in classic UFO fashion, they let the shrimp abduct a cow and send him on his way. But the real shock comes later when we're introduced to Gigi. Momo's childhood friend and ex-crush shows up unannounced. He's been driven from his home by spirits, and he gets on really well with Psycho, so she offers him a place to stay, and just like that, the love triangle becomes a square. Gigi joins their school, and things get tense as it's now Okurin fancies Momo, Aira fancies Okurin, we're unsure if Gigi fancies Momo, and Momo fancies Okurin. A love square in the making. Okurin, obviously jealous and unsure of his feelings, gets distracted by an oddity at school, a full sprint anatomical plastic model named Taro. So Okurin and Momo follow Taro to a junkyard, where he meets another model named Hana. Taro confesses his love to Hana, and that moment sparks clarity for Okurin. He's in love with Momo. It's a surprisingly tender moment, despite Taro and Hana being possessed plastic human mannequins. After that fiasco, the season ends with Gigi inviting the gang to check out his family's cursed house, the main reason he came to Momo's house in the first place. The house seems perfectly normal, and they all settle in, so Momo goes to check out the hot springs and relax. Meanwhile, Okurin and Gigi awkwardly bond. At the climax, they discover a sealed wall lined with talismans, and a sinister force lingers in the air. Just as things seem to calm down, the camera cuts to Momo, now surrounded by strange, hostile men. The episode ends in silence. Season 2's trailer goes straight into the madness of the cursed house, and it looks sick!